the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy. Good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester, where a foggy start to the morning, kind of eerie out there. A little unusual for this time of the year to have the fog conditions that we did, but understandably, that's the reason why we had it. Temperatures. We'll talk about that in just a second. Kind of a good, interesting weekend, very spring-like for a lot of folks. Saturday, summer-like, with a little bit of rain shower activity early and then some rain shower activity overnight. Then yesterday, we saw mostly cloudy skies, some folks getting more rain than others. We'll take a look at that, those reports in just a second. But before we do all of that, Matthew, we were talking about the wide range of temperatures across the state. Southern Michigan, a lot warmer than what we are right now. Currently on the thermometer, what do you have?
On the thermometer, over at the airport, it's foggy at 52. Over in Midland, it's foggy at 50. Here at Radio Center, it's cloudy at 55. We have east winds at 9 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.88, and it's falling.
We have east winds here. Further north, it's east winds. Matter of fact, we do have some temperatures in the extreme northern sections of the Lower Peninsula struggling to hit 40. We're seeing a few more locations in the UP where temperatures are ranging in the upper 30s. And then you get down into and around the Detroit area. You know, again, that dividing line, I-69, 96, everything to the south. You have a south and a southwest wind. As a result, Detroit right now is coming in with a southwest breeze at 16, 76 degrees. Alma looking at 53, Ann Arbor at 73. Howell is at 75. Flint with a south wind is 75. Jackson reporting 74. Lansing 73. Lapeer is coming in at 74. Mount Clemens at 74. Port Huron with partly cloudy skies is looking at 72. You move up a little bit further north and from Port Huron up to Port Hope. They're looking at a temperature in Port Hope right now of 49. So that kind of gives you an idea of where that dividing line is. It's a stationary front. It was a cold front that dropped down to right about that 69 corridor yesterday afternoon and last night and stayed there, became a stationary front, and now eventually it is going to be moving up. Along with that is going to come the threat of some thunder shower activity. So don't be surprised this afternoon, especially after 1 o'clock, if you hear some reports of rain shower activity and some severe weather, because that is going to be a part of the weather forecast moving forward up until about 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon. So shower activity is going to be on the forecast. Hazy sun becoming mostly cloudy. As that frontal system moves to the north, we are going to warm up. We'll be another 20 degrees warmer later this afternoon. We'll make it up to about 72 for a high, 56 for a low tonight. So we'll actually be warmer tonight than what we are right now. Mostly cloudy skies. We'll have that southerly, southwesterly breeze. Tonight it'll taper off just a little bit, maybe gusts of up to 20 miles per hour, but still we are going to have the threat of some shower activity, but a much better chance of rain shower activity as we go through the afternoon. Tonight, 68, or I should say 56. Tomorrow with partly cloudy skies, it'll be 68 for a high, 46 for a low. We're looking for a pretty nice day with a lighter west wind right around 10 miles per hour. Moving into Wednesday after a low on Tuesday night of 46. we'll be right back up in that mid to upper 70-degree area. 77 for a high on Wednesday. We're going to be looking at a chance of some showers. I think those are going to move in somewhere around midnight into the early morning hours on Thursday. So Wednesday should be pretty much an all-day affair with partly sunny skies. Wednesday night, as I said, that threat of some shower activity, especially after midnight. That'll be moving into the early morning hours on Thursday. Clouds, some showers, especially in the morning. And then later in the afternoon, more than likely after sunset on Thursday night, another chance of seeing some showers. 78 degrees for a high on Thursday, 58 for a high on Thursday night. Then Friday, we're going to be looking at, once again, a chance of some showers around. But the weekend promises right now to be pretty much uneventful, with temperatures holding obviously much above normal for this time of the year. 62 is what's average. 41 is the average low. Record high in this state is 84. That was set back in 1970. The record low is 26, set in 1945. Incidentally, the coldest ever, 29th of April. That was in 1956. 40 was our high. 34 was our low. The warmest ever, set back in 2004. 79 was our high. 61 was our low. Now, we did pick up a little bit of precipitation over the last 24 hours. We've had some folks tell us they had about a quarter of an inch, maybe a half inch, especially over the 2-day period of time. But just over the last 24 hours alone, Michigan's thumb picking up quite a bit of precipitation. We were looking at the Port Hope area. We mentioned before their temperature where they're at. They had just under a half inch of rain altogether. Bad Axe was looking at quite a bit of precipitation as well, better than a half inch. Detroit, they were looking at close to 9/10 of an inch. Ann Arbor had a half inch. White Lake, which is north of Ann Arbor on 23, they had about 3/10 of an inch of precipitation. Midland had right around 2/10 over the last 24 hours. We're looking at Fillion in Huron County, 6/10. Port Austin, right at the tip of the thumb, 7/10 of an inch. By contrast, Saginaw, 28/100 of an inch. Frankenmuth, not even a tenth of an inch. Chesaning looking at 17/100. Owasso had 1/3 of an inch. Down in Genesee County, anywhere from 1/10 to 2/10 at a lot of the reporting stations. Lapeer had just better than 1/10 of an inch. Algonac over in St. Clair County had 4/10. Ann Arbor, 4/10. But then Chelsea, Manchester, Saline, all down in Washtenaw County, they had less than 1/10 of an inch there. And a couple other reporting stations over in the Detroit area looking at moisture levels of 6/10 to 8/10 of an inch. We did have some reports of more than an inch of precipitation in the last 24 hours alone in northern Michigan. One of them was the Tawas area. Pellston had 3/4 of an inch. The Gaylord area, about 1/3 of an inch there. Alpena had about 1/4 of an inch, so not all that bad. Engadine, 1 inch and 2/3 of an inch. And this is just in the last 24 hours. Gladwin, you had 1/3 of an inch. Petoskey had 2/3 of an inch. The Standish area reporting about 1/3 of an inch as well. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by to take a look at those markets. Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Gary Kaufman from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
Before we get to all of them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Insurance Agency. You know, as a farmer, you have some family goals and dreams for your future. They're important to you. And the folks at the Rummel Agency know that you are more than a number, and they want to get to know you because they do understand that your needs vary like the crops in the fields. They understand the risks that you face as a Michigan farm and an ag business owner. They want to know you one-on-one so they can help you get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family, because no two policies are alike. The Rummel Agency, with offices in Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Caro. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, how you doing?
Hey, good morning there, Terry. I'm doing well, and yourself?
You had yourself a nice weekend, and you aren't too much worse for the wear, are you?
No, I had a great weekend, and just waiting for it to get drier and a little warmer, even though we had some warmth, but it'd be nice to try things out a little bit. So
yeah, it would. First thing I noticed when I took a look at the markets this morning was everybody decided, evidently in Chicago, that we've had enough prosperity in the wheat.
Yeah, after 7 consecutive higher closes, we're definitely setting the stage for some correction, and we're definitely seeing it here Monday morning.
Is that how many days we had? I know it looked pretty good there for a few.
Yeah, it's been about 7 days in a row, and of course, and most of that rally was basically from weather conditions in the U.S. plains, and Russia was having some unfavorable weather conditions, and across the parts of Europe, India, and India may be always a wheat exporter, but now they're talking about being an importer. So that'll be interesting to watch on the wheat arena as well. But then, some of those money managers that were really short position were covering some of their shorts. So that'll let this thing ride out. And today it's a little bit of correction for the wheat.
And the other two guys, the soybeans and the corn, they're just kind of bouncing around.
Yeah, it's just been choppy. The weather forecast. It's going to be somewhat active here, it looks like, Terry, and you know just as well as I do for the next couple of weeks here. So we're going to continue to watch planting progress. We're expecting the corn progress to report this afternoon should be about 30 to 32% complete, and soybeans probably around that 20%. So we'll watch that as well. So
these crops have really been getting in quick.
Oh yeah. It's they say there might be some planting delays, but they can catch up in the heartbeat for sure. So.
Boy, they sure can. So right now on the board, what do you have?
Yeah, Terry. Right now we've got cash wheat down 18 at 5.80 on the white, 4.90 on the red. New crop also down 17 at $6 on the white, 5.20 on the red. Cash corn down 4 at 3.56. New crop also down 4 at 4.05. Cash soybeans, let's call it down a penny at 10.74, and new crop also down 1, Terry, at 10.94.
You have a good day, Gary.
I will. You do the same. Thanks, Terry.
Will do. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what our markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us. The market report brought to you by the folks at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth. If you're in the market for a new Ram commercial truck or a Ram heavy-duty truck and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, it is the time to see Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. And by the folks at Thumb Bank, making agricultural loans since 1895. And now they have even more locations to serve you throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. You can stay up to date on industry trends and trends of your operation by working with the folks from Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender, and member FDIC. Doug Klein, good morning.
Well, good morning.
It's been a busy day so far.
It's always interesting.
Boy, never a dull moment.
Well, there's a Fed meeting tomorrow and Wednesday, so that'll be on the radar for a lot of investors. One of the major banks is calling for a rate increase before a rate decrease or rate decreases start. So I don't know if that's in the cards or not. Obviously, wheat has taken a little bit of a pullback. It's not a breakdown yet, but it's something to watch. Tesla is making a huge move today. They're getting into China's self-driving market, so they're up like $26 today. So their chart is back into the bullish mode. So we'll see what happens there. Copper hit a new high today. That trend continues for now. What else is going on? Yeah, that's enough. That's enough for now. So here's your numbers. July corn is 446 and a quarter, down 3 3/4. December corn 469 3/4, down 3 3/4. July soybeans 1176, down 1 1/4. November soybeans 1173 and a half, down 1 1/4. The July wheat 603, down 19 1/4, and December wheat 650, down 15 3/4. Crude oil is at 82.79, down $1.06. Heating oil is $254.49, down 3/10 of a penny. Gasoline $2.76, down 4/10 of a penny. Natural gas $2.36, up 7.5 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.3648 Canadian. That's down 21 ticks. The big mover is the yen moving up. So the dollar buys 156.68 yen. That's down 165 ticks. The euro's at 107.16, up 24 ticks. The dollar's at 105.72, down 21 ticks. Gold's at 23.4870, up $1.50. Silver's 27.38, down 2 1/4 cents. Platinum's 248.70, up $34.
Oh.
And then copper's at 464.50. That's up 7 cents.
A
new high. So,
Well, now we know where we should put our money, right? In the mattress.
Sure. Yeah. You got that right.
No kidding. Doug, have a good one.
Yep, you too.
All right. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Legendary Tree Care. You know, if you need some tree trimming, if you need tree removal, well, then you do need Legendary Tree Care, because no job is too big. No job is too small. They're fully licensed and insured, and they do specialize in big projects. LegendaryTreeCare.com, or like them on Facebook. That's how you can get in contact with them. Well, we mentioned about the planting and how things have really moved along. Winter wheat jointing right now at this stage of the game. Over the last 5 years, the 5-year average is about 18%. This past week, we were at 34%, almost double where the winter wheat jointing is normally this time of the year. So that kind of gives you an idea just how far along we are with some of the grass crops. Well, another crop that has been way ahead, and Mother Nature wants that crop to continue to go, but some of the folks in our greenhouses have tried to hold the crop back just a little bit. We're talking the plants out there. Matt Bouvet with Abley Greenhouse joining me right now. Matthew, good morning. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on, Terry.
Matt, I'll tell you, I know you guys were watching the heat units and everything else. The crops, if you'd have let them just grow in the greenhouse, you'd have them in mid-June form by right now.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a great year for growing. You know, some years in April, there's hardly no sunshine. This year we've had plenty of sunshine. It's been nice and warm. You know, it's been windy, but the plants in the greenhouse, they don't know that. They've been growing right along. So we, went on the computer and we're not heating anymore, and we're ventilating, keeping it nice and cool. And, you know, that's a good thing, because when you come in and shop and you take your plants home now, they're not going to wilt down because they're already going to be used to being cooled off.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks were coming in and saying, hey, where's my tomatoes? Where's this? Where's that? You know, I want to get going. And you really didn't want to sell the product to them. But now we're getting to the stage where they're walking in the door and they're buying with confidence right now.
Yeah, definitely. you're the weatherman, so I got to thank you for all this great weather we've had. But the night temperatures, really, we're not seeing anything less than 40. The weather I look at, so I'm feeling good about it. We can start selling.
And right now, you've got a full greenhouse, right?
Yep, we sure do. We're really proud of the crop this year. It looks really good. We haven't really, knock on wood, we haven't really had too many problems with anything this year, and everything's looking good.
So at this stage of the game, Matt, when you take a look at your crop, people should be able to find just about anything and everything they want. And they still do have time, because I know there's plenty of opportunity to plant now for the next 5 weeks.
Oh, definitely. Yep. We had our little Monday morning meeting this morning, and we were talking about what might be a little sensitive yet. And, we've got a group of plants that we grow. We kind of call them the vine crop. It would be like your watermelon, muskmelon, squash, things that we, you can start them from seeds in your garden, or you can buy the plants already going here. And we made a decision. We're going to keep them in the greenhouse. We've got them out for sale, but we're not putting them quite outside, because sometimes when those cool winds can kind of make them wilt down a little bit. But no, everything is up, out for sale, and I feel good about sending it home with people.
All right. Well, Matt, always good to talk. We'll talk again soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, Terry.
Oh, you bet. Matt Bouvet over at Abley Greenhouse. So if you are looking for some plants at your favorite greenhouse, wherever it might be, it looks like now's the time to get planting. Matthew, we're going to take a quick break, and then who do we have?
Up next, we have Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center, and we also have Eric Sawatsky from Yo and Yo.
But first, this.
The rugged, reliable, affordable Workmaster compact tractor is now available in 25 horsepower. Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, and Beale City introduces the Workmaster 25 from New Holland. It's made to last with a big tractor backbone, heavy-duty internal components, and a fuel-saving 3-cylinder engine. You'll enjoy comfortable seating, great visibility, and best of all, a price that's easy on the wallet. Learn more about the Workmaster 25 today at Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, and Beale City.
Along with us, Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, we just got done talking to Matt Bouvet over at Abley Greenhouse. You guys, if you aren't busy right now, you're going to be real quick.
That's right, Terry. This rain hasn't been so good for people coming out wanting to get some stuff going, but the time is now. So again, he was talking about getting the annuals, it might not be so bad. The long range looks really good with the low temperatures, so looks like we should be safe. So probably get those annuals moving, but even at that, sometimes those lower temperatures as they come out at night can stunt them and slow them down a little bit. And some specific plants don't come back from that. Most will, but I think you're good to get out and get going. And if you haven't got that pre-emergent out yet, now is we're just getting the very end of that time, and I think this is the time to really get it down. That could be done. And I've seen the grass green up more in the last week. It turned green, but within the last week, it finally started taking on its real good spring color. So that this heat's done a lot of wonderful things for us.
It sure has. We'll talk to you more tomorrow, especially about the growing degrees. It's pretty interesting to see how they have come along so far as well. But all of that coming up tomorrow, right, Jerry?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Along with us right now from Yo and Yo, we have Eric Sawatsky. Let's talk a little bit about labor on the farm and some other businesses as well, Eric.
Terry, wanted to make sure everyone is aware there was a new rule passed by the Department of Labor this past week, and it goes in effect July 1st for all employers. And basically, there are specific salaried employees that have to be paid a minimum salary, and that amount is going to be going up July 1st. That hasn't been changed in a while. We hear a lot about all the minimum wage increases for all the hourly workers, but this is specifically for salaried workers. generally that perform an executive, administrative, or professional duty for the business. So it wouldn't be your laborers per se, but more the management in a business. But anybody who's on salary there, those salaried amounts are going up quite a bit. It was about $35,000 was the minimum salary. Now we're looking at almost $44,000 per year. So a big jump, and it's something that to be compliant, you'd have to put in place as of July 1st.
So to be compliant, what do they have to do? I mean, who's going to check?
Well, yeah, ultimately, the Department of Labor would figure that out once we have the next quarter's payroll taxes that are being filed. And especially when we're doing those individual wage reports and W-2s at year end, they'll have different ways to check on those. So better to kind of understand the law that's going in place. We're actually putting on a seminar at Yo and Yo to talk more in detail about how to implement that and who that affects. So that's coming up as well.
Yeah. When is that going to be, Eric?
Actually, I don't have the dates in front of me at the moment, but that is coming up shortly. We currently have that posted out on our LinkedIn website.
Okay, good.
It's going to be shortly.
Great. Eric, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a great day, okay?
You too, Terry.
Will do. Eric Swatsky, Yo and Yo Accounting. We'll be right back. Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today, 989-868-4444. Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor. New parts for old tractors made easy. 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude with the playing of our national anthem.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw Bay City, Midland.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. New developments at the birthplace of campus Gaza protests. Columbia University has told those in an encampment it's time to leave. CBS's Tom Hansen says there's a statement from the school's president.
She says we urge those in the encampment to voluntarily disperse. Of course, this is ahead of May 15th, that major date when students will graduate. In the statement, she went on to say that many of these students were robbed of their graduation in 2020 because of the pandemic. They want to ensure that they have a proper graduation this time around.
At the University of Georgia, an encampment is just setting up. At Emory University, where there have been some arrests, the student says administrators won't talk to protesters.
I think there should have been a dialogue of communication. If someone is avoiding communication, I don't think conflict can ever be resolved.
Secretary of State Blinken says Hamas has to act on a new offer from Israel that calls for a ceasefire and hostage release.
Hamas has before it a proposal that is extraordinarily generous on the part of Israel.
A massive cleanup in a handful of states hit by deadly tornadoes over the weekend. Sulphur, Oklahoma was hard hit. About 5,000 people live there. Trial opening today in Hawaii over the leak of jet fuel into the water supply at the Pearl Harbor Hickam military base and beyond. Coda Friedman will testify about his wife's health issues.
My wife was just getting worse and worse and worse. And it was like an everyday conversation trying to almost prepare myself for her not to be here.
Opening statements today in the murder trial near Boston. Karen Reed, accused of hitting her boyfriend, a Boston cop, with her SUV in 2022 and leaving